If you're into hunting, fishing, shooting sports, and all outdoor recreation pursuits, maybe you should be a member of the San Diego Wildlife Federation.
Hey, self-defense and emergencies can happen to anyone, and there is no guarantee that the justice system will be on your side. So make sure you are protected by the legal battle after your self-defense battle. While you protect your family and property, U.S. Law Shield is here to defend you 24/7, 365 days a year, with a comprehensive self-defense coverage at an affordable price. Bad guys don't take days off, and neither does our coverage. Listeners get a free T-shirt when they use the code Gun Owners Radio. Sign up today. Go to uslawshield.com.
All right, Gary Brennan from the San Diego Wildlife Federation. Now, Gary is one of the hardest working Second Amendment guys in the state of California, and that is not hyperbole. He is a relentless warrior when it comes to your gun rights, your hunting rights, all the above, everything that touches those. Gary, you work really, really hard, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate everything that you do.
Well, thanks, Mike.
I don't know, where do you find the time?
It's tough, especially now that it's hunting season and I'm going hunting. That's my passion, is what I wait for all year long. And, it's just been one of those things where it's been pretty much full speed ahead until October. Then it's my month. And I even missed our Federation meeting on Monday because I was in Arizona hunting.
Yeah.
Not Arizona, South Dakota.
Where were you hunting in South Dakota?
We went for a pheasant hunt on the Missouri, little place called Champlain, South Dakota, and we went. My brother and brother-in-law came out from the East Coast, and we all met. And Sioux Falls, drove out a couple hours and hunted pheasants for 3 days. Did extremely well, and they really took care of us.
What does that look like, dude? To do extremely well on a pheasant hunt, what does that look like?
We had limits for a day, and we limited out. All three of us limited out every day. So, and then the place we were at, they process everything. We brought back frozen birds and all sealed, ready to go, and they're in the freezer.
Have you trained those birds not to come up between your legs and scare the living snot out of you yet?
No, you know what? It still happens. It's one of those things where you just never know.
I have not.
If you haven't lived until you've walked through a gypsum corn field looking for these knuckleheads, and you stop to look, and then right between your legs.
Right between your legs.
Well,
so I've heard of pheasant under glass. I guess that'd be pheasant under. Well, anyway.
Yeah, it's
the best I could do. I just made a pheasant
under. Oh my
joke.
God!
and you would think they'd be easy to hit because they fly so slow. Not so.
So tell us what's the challenge of when you're pheasant hunting?
Challenge is since you're hunting, we're using dogs to kind of do the flush and the retrieves. But dogs have a tendency to jump after the birds. So if you come down on a bird with your shotgun really quick, and
that's not good.
That bird or the dog is jumping into your field of view, and you got to wait till they get up a little bit. And then winds also in South Dakota, we were working at about 15-mile-an-hour winds, and but that bird gets up there, they're gone.
Wow. I had a black lab that refused to go in the ditch. And my father-in-law said, well, if he won't go in, you go in the ditch. And I swear that dog would walk along the levee and laugh at me. I know that dog, big black lab, he's just got to go on.
Not me, man.
Because I'm down there in the ditch, man. Oh, it's, brutal.
Oh, yeah.
And next week, or what, is it tomorrow? You're leaving soon. Tuesday, you're leaving for Arizona, right?
Yeah, going to Arizona, up around the Flagstaff area on the Kaibab Plain to go after a cow elk.
Wow.
Oh, you're going after elk.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say dove.
Oh, no. Dove's November. So we still have a second season is in November, but quail opens up the same day, so does pheasant. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff going on in November.
Elk. Have you ever had elk?
You're
going to his house.
I love elk.
You're going to his
tasty.
house.
It's fantastic.
I'll tell you a real quick story. I was given some elk, some cuts of elk. It was awesome. And I had them. They were frozen, so I put one in the refrigerator. Didn't quite thaw it in time. So the next one, I put it. It was like in butcher paper, Put it in the cabinet, and then for the day, figured all right, it'll definitely be thawed out by dinner time. Wife and I come home, walk around the corner, and it looked like a murder scene. there was blood all over the kitchen. I said, "Hun, hold on just a second."
Yeah, don't come in the kitchen.
She's like, "Why didn't you put it on a plate?" I'm like, "Well, where were you 8 hours ago?" I mean, that's a great idea.
It is a great idea. Highly recommended.
So, what's the challenge in elk hunting?
Well, they can ramble at about 4 to 5 miles per hour sometimes. I mean, they can move a lot
and they're smarter than you.
Yeah, their olfactory senses are tremendous. But the good part is it's a cow hunt. There's more cows than there are bulls out there, and you can't eat antlers anyway. I've been more of a meat hunter my whole life. If I get a set of antlers on it, and if I have a tag for either sex, then yeah, it's a bonus if I can get a nice set of antlers. Yeah.
So a meat hunter, you mean you don't care about hanging something on your wall? You're looking to eat something.
I don't have the room for one thing. I'm not like some of your friends you were talking about earlier. I'm sure he has a game room. It has all kinds of mounts and all the other stuff. I have 2 deer that I mounted over my entire hunting career, and I'm 63 next month.
Plus, it's cheaper to eat it than mount it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you're talking, anywhere, depending on the taxidermist, you can get up to over $1,000 on a mount plus shipping and all the other stuff.
So you said you're going out alone, right?
Yeah. Well, there's going to be somebody over there that's going to be my hunter helper. I actually met her at the SHOT Show a couple years ago. Introduced her to a bunch of people. She's one of the huntress ladies out there, and fantastic hunter with a bow. Her husband just took a beautiful 6x7 bull in Arizona on the early season archery. She gets out there and does everything.
But an elk is what, 600-700 pounds?
Yeah, a cow can get up to about 500-600 pounds. Yeah.
How do you get it back?
That's my question. You're out there alone, or maybe with her. You got 500 pounds of animal there.
Yeah.
Which I'm guessing 500 pounds of animal, you're probably getting 350 pounds of meat or something like that?
Give or take. Yeah, it just depends on the size. But
So
we'll quarter it out and just bring out a piece at a time. And the place where we're going to be hunting on is actually on a base just west of Flagstaff called Camp Navajo. And we're allowed to take our UTVs in straight to it, pick it up, put it in there, and then come straight back out.
Gotcha.
So I can actually get up pretty close. And there's plenty of roads around as well. So that's going to be better it's better for the environment. They don't want you just tearing all over the countryside, and there are rules and regulations for UTV uses or ATV uses while you're there. But they're supposed to have snow on Tuesday as well, so it might be a little bit muddy and easier to get around a UTV than my pickup truck. The last time I was in Arizona hunting, I ripped the running boards right off the truck. This is brand new, 2018.
Took it in for warranty.
Hey,
these running boards fell off.
Yeah. You could barely open the door.
All right, so you harvest the elk, and then you how long does it take to for you out there in the field to get it to a point where you can start moving it back to your vehicle?
Oh, getting into it first, because I'm not one for taking a long shot. My purpose in hunting is to get as close to the animal as possible without being seen, and then to make just a ethical, quick kill so the animal doesn't suffer and run off and die in the woods. So, if I can get up to it quick, once I take my photographs and say a prayer for the harvest and all the other stuff, then I'll get busy, and I can probably start moving it 45 minutes to an hour.
45 minutes an hour you start, and then you broke it down into so if you're taking it out piece by piece, you just leave the pieces there, and you don't have to worry about predators or anything?
Well, there's always a chance. I mean, there's mountain lions in there. There's black bear.
You ever left some pieces and come back and there's a black bear looking at you?
No. The last 2 places I actually hunted were where I did harvest an elk. We could get to them really quick, and we weren't that far away where we had to do a 4 or 5 hour hike to get out of there. And this place has so many roads around it, we can get to the closest point and then drive pretty much right up to it.
And what's your hunting rifle for a 500-600 pound elk?
I'm going to use a 300 Win Mag with about either 165 grain or 180 grain bullet. So,
what manufacturer do you like?
Since I'm in California, I'm a Barnes guy. I have been since we started shifting over to non-lead. I reload a lot of my own rifle cartridges. but I am using factory ammunition. It's still coming out of the muzzle at about 3,000. So it's a scooting little round.
And you were talking about a lethal and ethical kill, which means basically you're saying, hey, you want to make sure that you get it on the first try.
Yeah.
And that, like you said, that the animal doesn't suffer, the animal doesn't run away, that sort of thing.
Where is that shot go? Where do you shoot
Right in
it?
the heart lungs area. You hit heart lungs liver. Liver is behind the diaphragm, so you get pretty close to the stomach contents, which you do not want to do with an elk. There's some videos out there that are
Yeah, I was
truly
just gonna
amazing.
say. So you're really going for the heart if at all possible.
Oh yeah, if you can hit them in the heart, if it's close enough and you're not shooting too far, I can put it right behind the ear on a cow and it'll drop her in a heartbeat. So
I want to talk
but that's
about,
pretty fast.
I want to talk about San Diego Wildlife Federation when we after the break. But before we go to the break, you talked a little bit about. I mean, and actually, maybe we should do this after the break as well. But I was intrigued that you said, hey, you said a little prayer. You're thankful for the harvest. So after the break, you see things in movies where hunters drink this from blood or whatever. You know what I mean? There are some traditions and some rites of passage and that sort of thing.
Sure.
And I'm curious to hear when we come back if that's anything you do now. Is that something you participated in when you were young? Just hear a little bit more about that. Maybe that's all in the movies. I don't know. I'm not a hunter.
No, it's
never
not.
Hunted.
You never hunted?
Never hunted.
Because I was going to ask you if you ever did it.
Never hunted. I was telling Gary I went on this rabbit hunt, but when I was 21, it was years ago, and it was really just a walk in the desert with a shotgun on my back. That's about it. Wasn't quite a hunt, but nope, not a hunter. So anyway, but let's talk about it after the break.
Folks, our freedom of speech is just as important as our freedom of self-defense, and we are thrilled to support an American company like MyPillow. Go to mypillow.com and use the code FREEMARKET3 and get up to 66% off America's best pillow. Get a great night's sleep and enjoy the satisfaction of supporting companies fighting against cancel culture. That's mypillow.com and use the code FREEMARKET3 for up to 66% off. All right, we're back with Gary Brennan from the San Diego Wildlife Federation.
Yeah, we were talking about hunting, and we were starting to talk about some of the traditions, the rites of passage, that sort of thing. I think the first one comes to mind. Everybody's going to be surprised to hear this. Is from the movie Red Dawn. Dave,
I just was.
Did you know I was going to be able to work that in?
I knew you were, but I just was waiting.
They all went out into the woods, and one of the kids.
Did you see this movie, Gary?
Oh yeah, everybody saw it. Yeah. One of the kids that when they're hiding from the Russians. One of the kids had never hunted before, and they took him hunting. And I think what they did is they drained some of it was for his first kill, and they drained some of the blood from his spleen, from the animal's spleen, something like that. Does that sound right, or am I?
Well, there's plenty. Once you open up an animal after you shot it, there's
plenty to drink.
There's plenty to drink.
There's a lot of blood. So
okay, so
unfortunately,
talk about that. Was there a a tradition, a rite of passage, or something that you went through when you first started hunting, or?
Oh yeah, we got blood war paint basically put on our face, and I know my brother just had a youngster out for his first deer hunt back in Pennsylvania, and they got one, and they marked his face a couple times on his nose and his forehead, and that was his rite of passage.
Thank goodness he didn't make him drink it.
Yeah, well, it's not like Dances with Wolves where they're just munching on a fresh liver, which some people might be into that, but not I.
It's not. I think it's important. I don't think we have these rites of passage anymore. These traditions, this symbolism, and I think it's to our detriment. There's an organization. I'll tell you real quick. There's an organization called Boys to Men, and what they do is they get trained volunteers to work with troubled youth and try to turn them around. And they say, hey, these are angry young boys who don't have a strong male figure in their life, and they're causing all the problems in schools. And we get a hold of them and we turn them around. And one of the ways they do that is they take them like camping, and they have to accomplish certain things, that sort of thing. Sounds a lot like Boy Scouts, actually, when I was a Boy Scout. But he said, the founder, great guy, said, we just don't have these rites of passage anymore. And it gives people a sense of accomplishment. It gives life meaning. It gives life meaning.
Sure.
And if this isn't the rite of passage for you, if you're like, I don't know if I want to, take my kid hunting, fine. but this is definitely something that I think is very valuable for a lot of people. I don't know. Am I
Like
reading too much into it, Gary?
Like gnawing
No.
on a spleen?
Wow.
Not the spleen. No, the spleen's not an edible part, but
Not the
But it's
spleen,
one of those
Dave,
things
for
where-
God's sake.
the heart and liver usually are harvested because people eat heart and liver as well. The organ meats and in fact, that's what a carnivore or a predator is going to go after first thing,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But
Gourmet.
yeah, even if you missed your shot, they used to cut the back of your shirt off. Just take the tail off, or you notch it, or something like that. So we had quite a few people walking around with notched tails on their shirts growing up back.
You got to
in
go
Maryland.
hunting.
So-
That's all there is to it.
But-
You have got to.
It'd be interesting,
Yeah.
I guess.
so-
So let's talk about the San Diego Wildlife Federation. It's an organization that's been around for years. They've done a lot of good work.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, what does the San Diego Wildlife Federation do?
So instead of having each individual club and organization out there trying to get things done in Sacramento and all the other stuff, San Diego County Wildlife Federation was formed as basically a conglomerate where these groups can come together under a single banner and then go and talk to whether it be the congressional delegates at federal level or up here in
You
Sacramento.
have a lobbyist?
Yeah, we do have a lobbyist, actually. Bill Gaines is a great guy. He's well known throughout the fish and game community up there. He doesn't only work with us, but he's
Because you have to have a lobbyist. If you don't have a lobbyist, you're lost. You'll never get nothing done.
sort of have two, because we still have Roy Griffith with the California Rifle and Pistol Association. They're also members of the San Diego County Wildlife Federation, and so they have their own lobbyists up there. And we've actually got some good things going. We got 2 free hunting days set up for the upcoming year by 2023. I guess it was signed by the governor last week. So.
And what's the main focus when you guys are lobbying or talking to elected officials? What's your main area that what are you trying to accomplish?
Well, what we want to do is we want to have access to public lands, okay? And with the way things are going right now, this 30 by 30 or program where they want to protect 30% of the lands and waters of California by 2030. Without saying what protection is, and we got our ear to the stone on that one, or to the rail, but it's things like that. We actually had an area up in Ramona. It's called Kenyatta De San Vicente. It was in the pipeline to become an ecological reserve, and we got behind it, started pushing it, got it through the process. Through the Fish and Game Commission, and we actually started hunting there for dove about 2 years ago, and then quail and possibly a youth turkey hunt in the spring of 2022.
So would you describe your organization as are you guys conservationists?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, any hunter is a conservationist. The money that they put into their tags, their license fees, the money that all these organizations cost something to be, even like San Diego County Gun Owners, right? So, everybody throws money here and there, but a lot of that money goes back into habitat, which is what we're about. Without a good habitat, you're not going to have a healthy animal population.
You'll have nothing to hunt.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people get that, Dave. We tried to years ago, before San Diego County Gun Owners, when I was doing volunteer work for the NRA, we tried to get an NRA booth at Earth Day. They wouldn't go for it at all. And I'm going, wait a minute, gun owners, hunters, and everything. And they just, I was just trying to put my finger in some people's eyes. You know what I mean? I thought,
and
hey,
an
NRA,
that.
I know. I thought an NRA booth at Earth Day, that'd be funny.
Yeah.
But it's legit. I mean, truly, I don't think there's no bigger group of conservationists than American hunters.
But see, and that's the job. That's probably your bigger job, is squelching all these rumors, these negative rumors, not unlike the show I do at noon, San Diego Off-Road Coalition, which does exactly the same thing you do.
Sure.
Because we're fighting side by side with you to keep the land open for our going off road, and you're doing the same thing. But people have a myth about you guys. Yeah, you just shoot them and leave them, and you don't, and then go shoot another one and go, and you're not a conservationist, which is the biggest mistake.
Yeah.
How does the public help you? Because you guys can't do it alone.
Well, if you look at national average on people that are either pro-hunting or anti-hunting, about 80% of the United States is pro-hunting as long as the game is not wasted.
That high of a number?
Yeah, it's actually that high of a number. There's a huge movement about going natural, so we have people that were vegans that decided, hey, we need to get a little bit more protein in us, but they don't want to buy it from the store. So now they're going and said, we'll do it ourselves. We'll become hunters. So numbers are increasing. Women in hunting is really increasing, which pulls the kids in quicker.
Sure.
So while the hardest part is to keep people hunting, and that tends to be a problem. There's a program that's called R3. And it's for recruitment, reactivation, and retention. Mm-hmm. And basically, there is actually a person in Department of Fish and Wildlife. It's their sole job is to manage this program, and so we're trying to get people back into the field. I mean, I've done it. I've had 2-3 new people out just this year. One was a reactivation, my brother-in-law, and then a couple of people that I've hunted with down at El Centro for dove this on the 1st of September. So, just trying to get people out and get them interested in it again and just getting outside. The whole thing about going to South Dakota and Arizona, and I've been to Texas and Colorado and New Mexico to hunt because they're drivable distances. And sometimes they're flyable distances, but getting in there and just seeing the country and meeting the people and getting out of California for a little bit. And not that California is too bad, but we have ways to go to get it back to where it should be. And just the politeness of the folks that you meet. In South Dakota, man, I'd move there in a heartbeat if I could drag my wife there. I'd be kicking and screaming because it gets too cold.
So. Can you join San Diego Wildlife Foundation without being a hunter?
We actually have fishing organizations. Wayne Cotto from CCA.
Yeah, I love Wayne.
And they're members of the federation.
Because I know a lot of people that believe in what you're doing, but maybe they're not able to hunt, or maybe they can't, take the time off or what have you, but they believe in what you're doing.
Sure.
And I just want to make sure that people that would like to support your group can.
Well, we can by just joining one of the groups that's in the federation. And we have a website. There's probably 13, 14 different clubs and groups in the, being a member of the San Diego
County Gun Owners. And there's a volunteer box probably.
Owners. Well, we don't necessarily. Our whole idea is just we get together once a month and we put the information out to the clubs, and it's out to the clubs to get it out to their membership.
Okay.
And, like I say, even Seth, when he comes to our meetings, he's supposed to come back and report what we're talking about, and we send out minutes a little bit later.
Seth's one of our members he's our representative. He goes to the San Diego Wildlife Federation meetings, which is really, really cool. It's another way to be involved. So real quick, why is the world a better place because of hunting? If someone said, hey, why do we even need hunting? Why don't we just get rid of hunting?
Okay, well, if you want to see wildlife, thank a hunter. All right. If it weren't for the hunting communities that are out there and the big organizations like California Waterfowl or Ducks Unlimited for the duck side and the waterfowl side, or Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation or California Deer Association, without those people involved in putting money into the habitat, there would be no habitat, no animals. Wild turkeys, white-tailed deer, Safari Club International, San Diego chapter, they're reintroducing Sonoran pronghorn into Southern California.
Yeah, we interviewed them. That was fascinating.
And that's a huge thing there if they can get a hold of it and just be there. So without hunting, there's a lot of other people that say, yeah, we'd be better off without hunters, but they don't put the money into conservation that hunters do.
And
or
not only
anglers.
that-
Exactly right.
I'll throw anglers in there too.
And not only that, you're going to have animals in your backyard.
Well, yeah, well, predators, and that's
Predators.
one of the problems that they're having right now.
Sure.
Because bear population is outrageous.
I got coyotes running up and down my street up in Alpine.
Sure.
So you guys ought to do a hunting season on it. Coyotes.
Well, they said there's 40,000 black bear in California right now, and 2 years ago there was only about 20.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. You can watch us live every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, right here on our YouTube channel, or if you're in the San Diego area, you can listen to us on 1170 a.m. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform for free. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can help restore and protect the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.